I don't want to be mistaken when I say this, right? So when we come up with a solution and somebody comes up with the rebuttal, that is the first form of it not being supportive. And so what we should have got is more support and say, yes, we do need to go ahead and start talking to our young men that are 16 and 15 to start having an idea where they're going at 18. But what we got was pushback. And that's the first problem that we have in our community. Anytime somebody come up with especially the black man, come up with a valuable solution, it gets pushback and it gets all of these things while we can't make it happen. Instead of going through the course, getting through it, and while we go through the bumps in the road, we correct those bumps in the road and jump over any hurdles that we get in front of us.
Everybody's missing the point of what Mistaken is trying to say. She's not suggesting that anyone should not. No, you didn't, because you missed it. What I'm saying is that it sounds like you think that she's telling people that, nah, don't try to do any of these things. I'm pretty sure that she's avidly working towards helping children to not be in these situations. And we understand that there are.
How did you get that?
Yeah.
How did what? How did I get that?
Yes.
Because everyone
what did she say that said that I am helping people to get financial literate?
She didn't say that.
I said in terms of I was speaking.
What did she say that said that she is helping children get financial literate? She have not said anything like that. What she said is that people cannot get financial literate. Is what she's saying. Me and Dawn saying that
either. I did not say that. I said that they are not learning it in school. So get that right.
But we are not right again. So what me and Darwin is talking about is not school. We're talking about getting young people to understand, be career driven earlier in their life, so therefore they will be able to, men will be able to take their women out the workforce, and now the mother can actually nurture the child in the proper settings, and we don't have to worry about putting goddamn cameras in our children's head because they get knocked over the head.
But the point, and that's the point. That's the point that you're missing. That's the point that you're missing, because there is no take your wife out of the work system is what I'm trying to explain, and this is what I'm saying, because it isn't. Most people will never be able to do that again, and that's the point that I'm trying to hammer down. Even if people do get better, even if people make more money, it's a capitalist society, and the way it's designed right now, it's for both parties to work, period. You will not be able to survive off of one income. That's the design.
Trev, even outside of that, what's going to happen to this? What's going to happen when we take all of these women out the workforce in real life?
Why are we talking about that when we can't?
All of these women want to be stay-at-home moms.
You're going to be missing a lot.
Listen, to your point, Jay, earlier, you said you try to use the basketball.
So you don't think, Sharon, you saying that women aren't valuable in the workforce is what you're saying?
I didn't say that.
They don't hold value.
You use the NBA. You used hold on real quick. You used a pro athlete as an example of somebody who became upset. Jay Whip did. I'm saying I came from a household of fucking crackheads and shit. My mother, my aunties, all the motherfuckers smoking crack. I ain't had shit. I ain't had nobody taught me financial literacy in house or in school. I had a desired outcome that I wanted to accomplish. And that gave me the drive to figure out, okay, how the fuck do I reverse engineer where I want to be? I'm saying, as a black man, we keep absolving black man accountability, saying that his mama had to do the shit. No, what do you want as a fucking man? You want to shoot a nut up in her and have a kid, then you need to reverse engineer how to take care of the kid. And I'm saying we got all the evidence saying that that's not what we're doing. We going to say, fuck all the stats, all that. I'm going to make this bitch have a baby, and then we're going to figure it out. Just like what Mont said earlier. Don't we just go and do it and figure it out? That's where the conversation came from, because that's what men are doing. We don't want to talk about that.
That's not what we're doing.
We just want to say, we wasn't taught right. No, you don't have to be taught right from the house
to go into
school.
A high school or go into, and this is not a negative thing. I honestly think
how many of y'all on the panel been taught from high school and y'all parents got the teaching from high school and your parents got y'all where y'all at right now?
I challenge you to go to your local.
I guarantee you that didn't get you where you at right now.
Darwin, I'm challenge you to go to your local high school and start a financial literacy club so you can begin to teach this, because I agree with you. Our kids need it, and they're not going to get it in the way that you're talking about. But if you can go into a local high school, start a financial literacy club.
I'm not going to no high school to teach them financial literacy.
Okay,
they go learn that on their own.
So hold on, Miss Taken, you said you was in the union. The union set you up to be able to retire in 20 years.
No, 30.
Perfect. Thank you for the correction. Regardless, it sets you up to retire. So if you start at 18 plus 30, what is that?
You can't teach at 18.
What I'm saying is that majority of us start at 40. What you're suggesting that if what me and Darwin suggested, they start at 18, get inside that union, they will be retiring by the time most of us are starting. That would be the flip. That would be the decision-making change in our community because they started off earlier. They start to make the mistakes earlier and say, oh, this is what I'm doing wrong. You have the resources to get ahead and build yourself up. And you also have a destination with it because the union starts setting you up with a destination. You're going to start at $20. In the next 5 years, after you go through your apprentice, you'll be making 30. And after the 30, you can move to a card, that's 40. Then you can move to it's a plan, right? You can see where you're going. And our people do not have a plan in mind to see where they're going. They are just doing outside.
Our people also are
helping. Stop giving up. Hold on, Mr. Kid. I just want to say, and we have to stop giving our young men excuses to why they could just keep doing things willy-nilly.
They better go to the NCAAP and Black Lives Matter to get them to do the financial literacy. We pump too much money on those groups.
How are you getting out of the message, though,
moving like what you were saying, and I just challenged our people to say, since you have this knowledge set and you want our youth to get to the point that they're able to do what you did. And the first thing when I said, go into high school, start a club, be a mentor to some of these kids and teach them, the first response says, nah, I ain't gonna do that. They gotta get it on their own. Like, let me finish.
I want to jump in right there, Ms. Taken.
Let me just finish. The first response was, no, they gotta get it on their own, just like I did. They need to figure it out. So
no, they need to go to Black Lives Matter and get their money.
What I'm talking about is, no, I can't teach financial literacy because that is not my area of expertise. But I am working with students outside because I'm not even in the classroom anymore. But I still pull kids and I do work with them intentionally.
They need to go to the church and overthrow the pastor.
My expertise is
they need
literacy.
To fire all the pastors and ministries and black corners and churches and tell them to teach. They need to close the Bible and teach financial literacy. That's what they need to do. The Bible is fucking people head up right now. They need to open the Bible when they get their finances together.
But they not help solve the problem or the way that you solve it. Telling people that they don't know it, and then you just leave it there. That doesn't make sense.
I want to be.
We already got.
I don't want to be mistaken when I say this, right? So when we come up with a solution, and somebody comes up with the rebuttal, that is the first form of it not being supportive. And so what we should have got is more support and say, yes, we do need to go ahead and start talking to our young men that are 16 and 15 to start having an idea where they're going at 18. But what we got was pushback. And that's the first problem that we have in our community. Anytime somebody come up with especially the black man come up with a valuable solution, it gets pushback and it gets all of these things why we can't make it happen. Instead of going through the course, getting through it, and while we go through the bumps in the road, we correct those bumps in the road and jump over any hurdles that we get in front of us. The first thing we get is pushback instead of say, yes, that's what we need to do. How we are giving critiques on how me and Darwin want to communicate to young men before we even get an agreement of how we're going to start.
I think we got.
And this is why we keep getting stagnant.
We have a church.
We gotta get an agreement on say, hey, we gotta start our young men earlier with understanding.
All black people gotta do is go up in the church and tell the pastor. Hold on, Rico, let me say this. All people gotta do is go up in the churches and tell the pastor.
You start a financial literacy program at your church.
the pastor, all the money that the money that the nonprofit organization is getting a 501, what is it, 501(c) or some shit like that. All the money that's going into the churches for that, all the money that's going into collection plates, they need to close the Bibles for a moment and have financial literacy every Sunday before they do service. We already got resources for Black people. They're just not using the correct resource for Black people.
Darwin, I agree with every bit of that.
Hey, look, I don't think you're gonna get a blessing if you keep being a good servant. Instead of saying, hey, look, you need to fix your fucking credit. Or you need
Darwin,
to
I get every bit of that.
You need to know how to improve it.
Darwin, I agree with every aspect that y'all said as far as what men should be doing. Right? I wholeheartedly agree. Start your career earlier, become financially literate, everything. This is what I tell people on a regular basis. I agree with every bit of it. Here's the problem. Even when people do that, they are still set up for failure, is what I'm saying. You're still not going to be able to take your wife out of the workforce. Most of us still won't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So you think that in today's society that we're ever going to have a time in the near future, within the next 50 years, where people are going to be able to take their wives out of the workforce when 2/3 of Americans are living check to check, when the global debt, we have credit card debt in the trillions. How are we going to be able to do that? People are hemorrhaging right now. A lot of that is due to financial literacy, but some people are buying groceries on their credit cards right now because inflation has surpassed. Yes, they are. It's reported. What the hell are you talking about?
Look at consumerism. We got a $15 trillion.
Don't do that.
What? Have you seen the consumer bill?
There are people are buying groceries with their credit cards because cell phones and all kind of shit,
and cosmetics and all that other stuff.
This is not
Jordan shit.
The highest is medical, from what the last I read. The highest,
right? And medical is crazy. Insurances are pulling back. Even the people with the unions are fighting and going on strike because they are taking away so much, and it's ridiculous how much they overcharge people. But it is what it is. They are letting the big pharmacy get away with this shit.